Hey guys, Crystal here at Crystal's Crafties, and we have a brand new trend popping up on Etsy right now. It is the yarn, crochet, knit, chenille, whatever, that's all in here. And you can see, I mean, look, all of these have this popular now because they are just coming onto the scene. And it is this chenille look, or this yarn look, or this crochet look. There's just a ton of different ways that people are doing this. So today's tutorial, I have kind of a dupe or a hack for you on how we can achieve this. Most of this is being done in a design program that I don't have. A lot of this is Procreate, and I don't have Procreate because I don't have an iPad, but you know, goals, future goals. As soon as I get that, I'm on this. But what I do have for you today are some ways that we can make dupes of this. So here is one. It's got the crochet on the word be, and then the chenille on the word mine. And then here's another one that's kind of just all chenille, and it's a Merry Christmas on a cream colored shirt. So you can see these are kind of dupes, but they're still super, super on trend for what's coming up right now in Etsy. And they're going to be really, really easy to make. We're going to do these in Affinity Designer, and you are going to need a few things to accomplish this. First, you need to get this brush set from Tampa Tailor Made. I have already asked him if he will add a few more to his quantity here, because those 3 are going to go quick as soon as this tutorial comes out, and they're already in 2 carts. So, but this is if you want the outline. There are tons and tons of these outlines in here. So you can see like just so many different things that you can do. The one I'm going to be featuring in the tutorial is this one here, and that's what made this. And then you also need some sort of digital paper that's got the style that you want. I love this set. There are 100 colors of this chenille yarn look, or whatever this is. It's $1.98, like holy cow. So, but you can get whatever you want. You can get crochet pattern, you can get knit pattern. I really did love the chenille, that's why I went with that. Get whatever it is you want, but you do need to purchase those 2 things in order for this hack to work for you. Okay, so here I am in Affinity Designer. I've just got this on a blue background so that you can kind of see everything. If you want to know, my Affinity Designer artboard is 3000 by 3000 pixels. I have some other tutorials that show how to get this all set up if you're not familiar with that. But I'm just going to duplicate this artboard and show you what I've done. There we go. Okay, I'm going to just delete everything here, and we will start from scratch. Let me make this bigger now. Okay, so the first thing that you want are your words. Let's get Merry Christmas on here. So I'm going to type a T on my keyboard, click, and then start typing the word Merry. That's teeny tiny. Let's enlarge it. And then you'll pick a fun font for whatever it is you want. Again, Affinity does not have its own fonts. It just works off of whatever is in your computer. For this, I'm going to use the Helmera font, which I got from Creative Fabrica, and I will link to it. I'll link to all of the design files. I'll link to the brushes. I will link to the chenille. I will link to all the fonts I'm going to use. There it is. Okay. So that's our first word. Let's go ahead and fill this with the chenille. So I'm just going to make it really big so that we can see it. I do want to go ahead and turn this into curves. Right now it's just text. It's not got too much that we can do with it editing wise. So while it is selected, I'm going to right click and just convert to curves. And what that does is turn each letter into something I can edit separately. If you want to put different patterns in each letter, that's great. If you want to put the same pattern in the whole word, which is what we're going to do, I would just select all of this and then weld it or unite it all together to make it one. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and fill it up with the chenille. I used white over here just because I liked the way that looked on the design. But let me pull in a different color of the chenille so that you can really see it. What I want to do is come and click this vector flood fill tool, and then I want to come to the set bitmap fill. That's how I'm going to pick the design I want to go in my word. And we said just downloaded it, so it's that guy right there. And you can see that now filled with the purple chenille. And all I'm going to do is just click this and it fills in there. And then I can make it as small or as large if you really want to see the texture of that. I mean, you can make it super large. One thing I absolutely love about this particular set of chenille graphics is they're seamless. If you get crochet that's not seamless, you aren't going to be able to have ultimate control over the sizing, because at some point the ends of that design are going to meet up and they're not going to match. But if you have got seamless designs, they will match perfectly. I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to click my tool here, my move tool, so that I can get out of what I was doing. And so now it's filled, but it's just kind of flat looking. It doesn't have any dimension that is lifting it up off the page. Let's come and add that. I am going to put a background behind this so we can really see what we're doing. I'm just drawing a triangle. Okay, I'm going to move this triangle underneath our word, not into it, underneath it. I'm using the layers tab over here to move everything around. And now, actually black probably wasn't the best color. Let's make this like a darker gray. So I'm going to come to my little color selector box here and I'm just going to move it there. That's good. Okay. So now let's get some dimension put on this chenille here. There's a few different things that you can do to get that on there. We're going to come to quick fixes over here, or quick FX, not fixes. And you want to give it a little bit of a 3D look. So we're going to click this 3D box. And that already has helped tremendously. You can adjust the 3D look. I mean, check that out, right? Super awesome. And then also you want to scroll down and give it a little bit of an outer shadow. And again, this can all be adjusted. The radius is the spread of the shadow. You can't see it much right now. Let me pull this up and pull up the opacity. Now as I change the radius, you can see that shadow going in and out. And as I change the offset, you can see that shadow coming down to the side. So you just want to put a little bit of a shadow on there. You don't need much of a spread. You don't need it to be fully solid. You can lower this opacity down some. Just enough to give it a little bit of dimension so that it doesn't look like it's laying flat on the page, so that it looks like it might actually be that yarn. Okay? So that is literally all I did for all of this. I did that for Mary, and then I did that for each separate letter of Christmas because I wanted them to be different colors. So you would just follow that process again for whatever word you're wanting. Now, and the same thing here with mine. I did the exact same thing with all of those. There are a couple things that you can do. I'm going to show you how to do this here in just a second. But let me tell you, if you wanted to put a border onto this, if you wanted it to look like the yarn with a crocheted border around it, that's absolutely doable as well. I'm going to take this, the first thing that I've got here, I'm going to hold Alt and drag down so that I can get a duplicate. Okay, I'm going to kind of move these things up out of the way. I'm going to take this duplicate and I'm going to turn off all of these quick FX effects that we added. I'm going to turn off the 3D and I'm going to turn off the outer shadow. And I'm going to add a stroke. So I'm going to come up here to stroke. And when we do it, we want our stroke to be a brush. So you want to click the little brush here, and then you want to come down to your brushes. And this is where we get these macrame brushes from Tampa Tailor Made. Let me show you how to get those in. So you would go over here, you'd purchase your file, you would download it. It's actually 4 different files. He's got a lot of brushes in there, so he separated them out into 4 files. You'll download it onto your computer, and then you can come over here. When you're in the brushes, you just want to click this little hamburger icon, and you want to click import brushes, and wherever you had them saved on your computer, literally just click it. I already have all of these in there, so I'm not going to do it. I don't want to add them again, but just click it, open it, and you will immediately see it pop up over here. You can see I've got the volume 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these macrame brushes. Okay, you can scroll through them. That was volume 4, here's volume 3. Again, scroll, scroll, scroll. Pick whatever you want. I'm going to go back to volume 4 and use the one that I had in the sample photos, which is this guy here. So as soon as I click it, it puts it on there. If this happens to you, if it looks completely crazy, just click this little scale with object and it will be fixed. And actually, I just kind of showed you 100% how I made that. But don't worry, I'm going to go over that again. But we wanted this to be a border, not a full solid word. So we're going to take this down until we can see the word inside of it. Now again, some work needs to be done. I've really increased the size of my screen here. A few things that you can do with this border. You can leave it like it is, where it's kind of at the center. It overlaps a little bit onto the yarn and it goes a little bit off. You can put it to where it is only inside of the yarn, or you can put it to where it is behind the yarn. I suggest, if you're using it as a border, put it where it is behind the yarn. That way you can make it as large or as small as you want, and it is not covering up your letters. If I put it here in the center and I come to make it large, I mean, it's covering up every bit of the letter. So I like to leave it behind when I'm using it as a border. That's all, just when I'm using it as a border. Okay, you now need to come in here, come back to your color, and we need to turn off the fill. We want that hollow. So again, what I did was click this fill button. It was that purple. Where did my first one go? There it is. It was that purple chenille. I'm getting rid of that. And then to make it go away, I just clicked this first box and then I clicked the little set no fill so that it would go away. And now what that means we can do is we can take this guy and we can put it inside of here, and we can edit them separately, which is going to be necessary because I don't want the effects, the 3D effects and the outline effects to be on this border, and I want my border to be a different color. So let me move this back out of the way and let's just work on the border. Let's make the border, let's make it like a tealish blue. I think that might look good with the purple. So a few ways that you can change the color of this. You can come up here. This is a stroke. So when we're changing color, we want to select this hollow stroke circle. And we can come up here and we can start making it purple. But you see it is not actually, we've selected a very dark purple. and it is a very bright purple. There's a couple different things that you can do to fix that. You can come to the quick FX again, and you can put a color overlay on it and make your color overlay, come here, click this box, make your color overlay the deep purple that you would like it to be. Oh, it's giving me trouble today. And then once you get it to a deep purple, you want to come and lower this opacity down so that you can see the texture in there. That is one way that you can do it. Or I'm going to increase the size of this. See, lowering the opacity shows you the texture. You can also come up here to layer, and you can hit new adjustment and scroll on over to recolor, and then you can take this. This is a much truer and accurate way to do it here. There we go. Oh, we didn't, what am I thinking? I don't want it purple, I wanted it teal blue. Guys, why didn't y'all yell at me and stop me? Like I would have heard. Ha. Oh, there we go, okay. Okay. Let's try that. Decrease the size of my screen again. Line these guys up. Increase the size. Okay, so that's how you would put the border on there. And again, you can use any of these macrame borders, or if you find other Affinity Designer rope or yarn or knit brushes, they're all going to work the same. So you can use anything that you want there. And then the last thing is I was going to show you how to make a solid word out of this kind of crochet border. So type a T on the keyboard, type the word B, now when you are making the solid word, you want to pick a thinner font. You do not want a big chunky font, and I'm going to show you why. Let me come change this font to something super chunky like this. Now if I took this and I put that brush on it, and I increase the size of the brush until the word becomes full, you can't even make out that that is the word B. Like, that's just not going to work. You have to get a thinner font. Most script fonts are going to be perfect, but any kind of thin font, and you can now make out that that is the word B. And you can decrease the size of that stroke if you want even more control over, like, look how awesome that is. You can absolutely tell that is the word B. And then to get mine, I just did the exact same thing that I was showing you with all the other chenille. Okay, so that's how you're going to do it with text. It works the same with shapes. If you have this happy little square here, which has no fill because I turned it off, but you wanted to fill it, you can do that too. If you have an SVG file that you have found online, that say it's a stocking or a Christmas tree, you can fill each different section of that SVG with this chenille. You can put a solid stroke on it just to give it a little bit of look and texture. And if you've got Canva frames, if you have any of my Canva frames, like the Nutcracker one, you can fill each different section with its own color of chenille or crochet. And again, I will be coming out with that Santa, I just don't have it yet. But that's all I've got. So if you have questions, guys, I have opened up the Facebook group, request to join the Facebook group, Crystal's Crafties, and I will be responding to questions in there. You can also definitely leave them here on YouTube, but I tend to miss a lot of those. They get drug into a section that YouTube thinks I've already responded to, and then I never see them. I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, that's all I've got for you guys. We'll see you next time.